This is Renee Collins, and welcome to Overtones. Broadcast of Overtones on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio. We are coming to you from the beautiful and historic Lyric Theater in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. I am Renee Collins, your host, and I am joined, as I am each and every week, by Lexington musician and songwriting extraordinaire, Whitney Akey. Let's all welcome Whitney to the show, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. We've just listened to the sounds of Lexington's Pop Band of the Year and local music scene sensation Brother Smith, who open our show each and every week with their hit song Happy Tune, and Whitney. The sun is shining bright on all of our old Kentucky homes, and the sun is also shining bright on this rich, vibrant musical scene this past week. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. There's lots going on.
So many opportunities to listen locally. And Kentucky and Lexington have just been exploding with talent being performed and shared, and we have seen most recently Magnolia Boulevard, Brother Smith, Restless Legs String Band, and Maddie Simpson all releasing their new CDs and EPs. And we have also have Lexington, Kentucky's Thursday Night Live that is going on each and every week. And that's also been in full swings with all kinds of Overtones artists as well, including Grayson Jenkins and Driftwood Gypsy, who's going to be on Overtones soon. Did you know that, Whitney?
I didn't. I never know who's coming. I'm always excited to see.
It's always awesome. And I just caught on Facebook Live, I caught Overtones' Trip Bratton performing in a band at Crow last night. And perhaps one of the most exciting things to happen to Kentucky this past weekend was seeing the film footage and the amazing photography coming back from Capture Kentucky of Tyler Childers' appearance at the Ryman Auditorium. Did you all catch that?
Yes.
It was really awesome to see, wasn't it? And performing with Sturgill Simpson, playing guitar, and Morehead State University's and Wilkes fiddler, Jesse Wells, and then laid-back country picker, also Dave Prince on the stage. It was just really phenomenal to see this transpire and just see this happen. And just on a side note, Whitney, we have laid-back country picker, and also Luna's coming to Overtones in June.
Very exciting.
So in other news, Overtones alums Restless Legs String Band appeared on Red Barn last week, and words cannot even express the excitement that was present in the audience and the musicianship on that stage. They just blew us all away. And coming up next, we have Joanna James taking the Red Barn live stage. And Joel Sardinis is going to be accompanying them as well. And in essence, that is why we gathered you all here today, to contribute to this rich, vibrant musical explosion of talent that is happening right now in the state of Kentucky and the city of Lexington. Whitney, how excited are we both today about this outstanding lineup for this special edition of Overtones, appropriately titled RefLEXions, spelled RefLEXions, and the LEX in the word meaning Lexington.
We are so excited.
Yeah, Whitney and I are welcoming guests today who have a broad range of musical artistry and significant contribution to the local music scene here in Lexington and beyond. On this very special edition of Overtones called RefLEXions, we're going to hear some of them sing some of the songs they are sharing with this community. And we are also going to talk to them today about how they listen locally and who they enjoy listening locally to in this area. So without further ado, here is your Kentucky Overtones starting lineup. In welcoming one of our dynamic duos this time on Overtones, one is 21 years old and likes beer, banjos, and long walks on the beach. He has been playing with bluegrass groups since he was about 11 years old. So after 10 years, he was kind of grown up in the music, and Ralph Stanley has always been one of his biggest influences, right down to the arch top style banjo you will see him play. You will hear him play as well. After hearing Don Reno's banjo for the first time and the ways the bluegrass genre could be bent, he started playing with everyone locally available to try to expand on his own catalog to bring licks and progressions that don't have origins in this music to this music. And being in bluegrass, he feels a personal responsibility to keep these traditions alive for the next generation, and it is part of the role he will continue to play. He's a teacher at the Kentucky Festival of Bluegrass Kids Camp, and Cowan Creek Music Camp is one of the many ways he is striving to keep those traditions going for more people to enjoy. And the other half of this dynamic duo is also 21 and started playing guitar around 13 when his dad taught him how to play the basics, and he just went on to develop and learn new things from there. He mainly played blues and southern rock stuff, as he was raised on Stevie Ray Vaughan and Leonard Skinner until last year. He really hadn't even played that much bluegrass at all, nor had he been around it that much growing up. And he hadn't been around it until the other part of this dynamic duo, and he became buddies. After he started to go to the Festival of Bluegrass and stay up all night at campfire jams, he became hooked on the stuff. And it's easy to get hooked on listening to both of you when you take the stage. Let's welcome Austin McAllistar and Austin McDonald to Overtones. Woo. As a songwriter, our next guest was influenced by his father and grandpa, who took him to the Little Nashville Opry every year, where he listened to folk, Americana, and country music. It was his senior high school English teacher that really inspired Todd to listen and write music. His sound stems from a wide range of unique influences. He is a Kentucky native and grew up on old hymns, blues, country, and rock. Todd has been nominated 3 years in a row for the Cincinnati Entertainment Award. And as you have heard, not only is he an accomplished musician, he has also been the director of music at a large church in Lexington and is a spiritual director in the community here. Graduating in June with a master's in theology. That's something to applaud right there. Let's welcome T.A. Clayton and the Soulminers to Overtones. And our third guest is what has been referred to as a, quote, strange brew, quote. Dangerously observational, painfully perceptive, a representational artist painting with pen, pad, and the grit that comes with truth.
Y'all ready for this?
Madly devoted to honesty, he boldly and bluntly shines a shattering light on flawless facades, including his own. His brand of rural route rock and roll connects with music fans across genre lines. Road trip tested and music snob approved. He is an artist you won't want to miss. Oh, and he's an ordained minister, finding a perfect way to blend his two passions in life to work in concert. He is also a favorite performer at the Twisted Cork and at the Warrenay Homestead House concerts. And we also enjoy having him in our presence today. He has a new CD out called Bluegrass Blues, and we are bluegrass proud of having him on the show today. Let's welcome Matthew Douglas Simpson to the show today. And we are going to start all of this off today with Maddie Simpson on the show. What you going to do for us today in this opening ceremony, Maddie?
Well, I guess since putting out the new record called Bluegrass Blues, I should probably play Bluegrass Blues.
That sounds like a great choice. Let's welcome Maddie Simpson to the show, everyone.
Started out with nothing, I still got most of it. Pinching dimes through the hard times, nothing to show for it. I've seen hungry eyes trade dreams for lies to a suit with a pitch and a smile. I watched the daddy's land slip through his hand like grain sifting out of your palm. And can you see it now? faded now. Can you hear it now? Here come the bluegrass blues. Here come the bluegrass blues. And it's so easy to lose. Here come the bluegrass blues. This old town will run you down, leave you beaten and barely alive. She'll push your pills and promise thrills and strip you of all of your pride. Can you hear it now? Faded now. Can you see it now? Here come the bluegrass blues. Here come the bluegrass blues. And it's so easy to lose. Here come the bluegrass blues. Here come the bluegrass blues. Here come the bluegrass blues. And it's so easy to lose. Here come the bluegrass blues. Here come the bluegrass blues.
Great job. Thank you so much, Maddie, for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
And we are going to hear from Maddie later in the show, but for now, stick around as we will be back with Austin and Austin after the break.
Bring you down like your hotel. Home is where the heart is, ain't that what they always say? My heart lies in broken pieces scattered along the way. Don't think about me when I'm gone. I don't mind traveling alone. You are the sweetest little thing that I ever found. Go on, nothing will bring me down like your hometown.
Wonderful job, guys. We are back, and you are listening to Overtones, hosted by Renee Collins and Whitney Akey on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio. And you've just listened to the wonderful sounds of Austin McAllistar and Austin McDonald. Let's welcome them to the show, everyone.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate being here.
So, Whitney, we fell in love with Austin and Austin a few weeks ago at the Twisted Cork Red Barn Radio Open Mic Night. It just warms my heart and touches my soul to see this done with so much attention, passion, and desire to carry forth an amazing tradition in Kentucky to future generations. And I will say it's also interesting for me to learn more and more about this tradition from a generation younger than you and I. Don't you agree?
I absolutely agree.
So tell us a little bit more than we heard in the intro about you and how you joined forces to produce this amazing sound that you have.
Well, we've always been the kind to get in trouble together. We met in high school, so we had a knack for that. But I'd been playing bluegrass since I was a kid, kind of mentioned earlier, but I never could find anyone in Richmond, at least, to play it with me. They were all a whole lot better than me or just starting like myself, and I figured, I can't learn anything off the guys that are learning. So I would go to any available festival, jam, and try to get something started, a group, and then finally, after a lot of goating, I got him to the Festival of the Bluegrass, and we probably were up 27, 30 hours just
Playing
bouncing
with the
jam
woods.
site to jam site,
Yeah.
and from there it was like a bug. You really can't shake it once you've been bit.
Wonderful. And other Austin, what's your perspective of how you all formed?
Well, we've played together in bands before, but we've played like classic rock and country and that kind of stuff. Just little things when we were first starting to get into music. But yeah, I think the turning point was the Festival of the Bluegrass and staying up all night and just being exposed to all the jams that all over the campground. And they're always going.
The best thing is that there's people so welcoming to have you there. I guess that's part of Kentucky culture, part of bluegrass culture. They see that you're wanting to learn and wanting to carry on, and they're, well, come and join with us, sit down with us 5 or 6 hours, and I'll teach you a thing or two. And it's really wonderful to meet people like that because it can just change your world.
Sounds like musical heaven, doesn't it? So what are you going to play for us next?
Our next one is going to be Blue Ridge Mountain Home. We usually do this as AA and W. If you
Oh, is that a challenge? Let's get a AA and W together here. And that would be Warren Cobb for the W of A&A.
There's a well-beaten path on the old mountainside where I wandered when I was alone. Well, I wandered alone to the place I home in those blue ridge hills far away. Oh, I love those hills of Virginia. From those blue ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on a mountain far away, my Blue Ridge Mountain home. When I find my way back to the ramshackle shack in those Blue Ridge hills far away, where my mother and dad laid their to rest, they are sleeping in peace together. Oh, I love those hills of Virginia. From those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain far away, my Blue Ridge Mountain home. Well, I returned to that old cabin home with a sigh. I've been dreaming of days gone by. When I die, won't you bury me on that old mountainside, make my resting place upon the hill so high. Oh, I love those hills of Virginia. From those blue far away near my Blue Ridge Mountain home.
That was the A&Ws. Austin McAllistar, Austin McDonald, and Warren Cobb. Great job. I think we're just sitting here all in all, aren't we? This is really, really nice. So, guys, I got some more questions for you. And I don't give them any rest. I just dive right in. But who do you enjoy listening to that's from the state of Kentucky? And what plans do you have for the summer to listen locally to some of those artists?
You want to go
You
first?
want me
or
to
you
take
want me
that
to?
one? Go, you first. Go for it.
Well, probably my favorite thing about listening locally is the surprises you can run into in your town. Before I'll frequent a headline act that I like to see, I'll go to the open mics, the karaoke's, just to sit and drink and listen to what else people have. And there's no telling when you're going to hear a hot lick that you want to steal, or you're going to hear a line or two that, maybe I might want to work with that guy. It's more like trying to take a body count than it actually is listening at first. But once you get in there, there's a lot of surprising talent that'll come out and bite you. Earl Barnes is one of my favorites. He's in Richmond, and he's about 88 years old now. He's been in bluegrass for over 72 years, and he's learned everything by ear. His sons play. They own a music store up in Berea as well. But at his age, and to be as at a loss with his hearing as he is, it amazes me how I can see him play. I could watch him for hours because he puts his head down on the guitar and he'll feel the vibration, and that's how he tunes. He can't even hear it well enough to do that, but it still sounds amazing. It's people like that carry on just out of the pure spirit of wanting to do it that I love to see. And there's an uprising of that now more. You see people like Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers, another shout out to a local boy, that are making it really big with this rhyming show. And it kind of makes you not feel like such a small person anymore. You feel like maybe that could be me.
Yeah. Austin, you are just the epitome of what I call the ultimate student. And I mean,
I appreciate it.
every place, you walk into, I can just see that on your face that you're just studying, what is going on.
Well,
And
I never knew what to do much myself, what to do with my hands. I'm a fidgeter, so I watch and I try to blend in.
well, that's a good approach. Austin, well, who do you enjoy listening to, Austin?
Same stuff as him, really, but Tyler Childers, obviously, I've seen him a few times, met him, just humble, down to earth, and all these local musicians are. Where we're from Richmond, this year I've kind of started to dive into the Lexington music scene and start to go to the shows like at the Burl and all the smaller shows that are like free or $5 cover, because that's where you'll see the talent, the up and
Yeah, it's
coming.
the people that are really working for it and really wanting it.
Yeah.
What can we expect our fans to enjoy when they listen to you locally?
They can enjoy a little bit of traditional bluegrass. We do a few covers by well-known people, but not well-known songs, so you're always known to hear kind of a gem once or twice. And we're also known to do local tunes here and there. There are Kentucky numbers and Kentucky fiddle tunes and things like that were brought here and founded by people like Arthur Pendiver back in the 1900s that just bleed Kentucky.
Wow, Whitney, I'm just amazed with this interview. And also, as I kind of talk to you, I'm really thinking about some of the reading that I've done about John Jacob Niles and how he used to travel all across the state of Kentucky and would try to find the oldest person in each community to kind of learn songs from.
Have you ever heard of the old Appalachian ballad singers?
No.
There's a lot of ballads, especially here in the local region, that were brought over from England in very early times when people were first coming to Kentucky. We're talking the English settlers, the Scotch settlers, the Irish. And you'll get songs like Little Omi Wise. You'll get songs that come out of there like, oh gosh, what's that called? It was just on my mind. Little Matthew Grove, things like that aren't what you traditionally hear out of Kentucky and bluegrass music, but you can tell the roots are there. The more you delve into bluegrass and the more you delve into old time, you'll start to see that. But they've been handed down for hundreds of years since people came over from England orally. And that just kind of shows you how strong the tradition is, that a song like Little Matthew Grove can make it from the ballad writers of the royalty in England all the way to some poor Appalachian boy 200-300 years later. That just shows you how strong Kentucky is in their tradition and their local artists, because they will share it and they will teach.
Well, I'm not so sure you shouldn't go on the road as a lecturer. You do a great
I was
job.
a bit long-winded.
And I disagree. I think these are stories that need to be told, and I think there's even generations like our generation that benefit from hearing these stories. Are you going to sing another one for us?
We've got one more. This is Heart to Heart. It's an old Stanley Brothers number. It was written by Carter, and we're known to do a lot of those songs because Ralph is a big influence on us, Ralph and Carter and Bill Monroe. So we're going to do their Heart to Heart now. It's not played as much as it should be, so we're doing our hand in changing that.
This is Austin McDonald and Austin McAllistar on Overtones.
Heart to heart, dear, how I need you, like the flowers need the dew. Loving you, it's been my life, dear. I can't believe we're really through. Is it true that I've lost you? Am I not the only one? After all this pain and sorrow, darling, think of what you've done. In those hills, I learned to love you. In them hills, I'll surely die. Is it true that I've lost you? Am I not the only one? After all this pain and sorrow, darling, think what you've done. Is it true that I've lost you? Am I not the only one? After all this pain and sorrow, darling, think what you've done. Darling, think what you've done. Thank you. We appreciate being here.
We want to thank Austin and Austin for being with us today on Overtones. And will you stick around and hear some of our other guests?
I'd love to.
Wonderful. Well, we will be back after these messages.
See me down the road with eyes all red. Just tell me you love me and ask how I've been, and I'll say good. And hide it with laughter. This ain't no way for a man to live. It's one hell of a way for a man to die. It's a son of a bitch for a fool to lay here and believe his own lie. It's a son of a bitch for a fool to lay here and believe his own lie.
We are back, and you are listening to WLXU 93.9 FM, and you have just heard from the incredibly talented Winchester-Lexington, Kentucky's T.A. Clayton and the Soulminers. Let's welcome them all to the show, everyone. And Whitney, I'm going to turn it over to you. Todd has been also at the Twisted Cork, I believe, in the Songwriters Round. Is that correct?
Yeah, man, me and Todd go way back.
Yes.
Yeah, to the church stage. Oh gosh, Todd was a blessing for that church, and I was really privileged to be able to work with him on that stage. So I'm really excited that you and the Soulminers are here. That's awesome.
too.
Okay, so it's your first time here on Overtones, but you are no stranger to Lexington. Tell us what you've been doing around Central Kentucky.
Well, I've been writing and playing out a little bit, checking out a lot of
music and kind of taking advantage of this time, because as we heard earlier, there is so much good music. Honestly, I wish I got out more than I did. We have a little farm out in Clark County, and I got 3 kids and a wife, and so my nightlife is usually consumed up by my day life. You know how that is.
Which I feel like is the way it should be. Yeah, I think you're doing things right. Absolutely. So we've talked about you being in the ministry, and you're graduating with your master's, I guess, next month, which is amazing. Congrats on that. So tell us exactly, how do you balance all of these aspects of your life? You mentioned your family and your kids, and being able to do everything and, nothing get left behind.
Well, I think first off, my wife is very supportive of my adventures, if you will. It's not as if I set out to say I'm going to conquer a theology degree, or that I was going to start a band. Now I have a small-time carpentry business that I'm running, and all of those things kind of, let's take the music, for example. It's more like it's an expression that comes out artistically. So you start writing songs, and then things just begin to happen organically. And next thing you know, you have a band and you're playing gigs. Same thing kind of with the degree. It kind of, you just put one foot in front of the other and kind of walk the path you feel like you're meant to walk, and then you find yourself in certain places. Those places also I don't feel like they necessarily define me, but they do make up part of who I am, for sure.
We're continuing to hear that theme, are we not?
We are. We had Christopher Bentley talk about how songwriting and music does not define him, and how easily that can be perceived from the outside, because when people, they think they know you if they listen to your songs, and they think that they can define you quickly, and that can be frustrating. Does that frustrate you sometimes?
I would be humbled that somebody was listening to my songs. I don't know. You define me however you want.
Yes, and I think a lot of that theme, like last week too with Chris, was, and he was just talking about really just kind of coming full circle on just figuring out who you are and how authentic it is just to be yourself.
Yeah, I think there are those aspects that people see, right?
Yes.
We all get glimpses of snippets of each other's life as a whole, but most of my time is filled up with making sure homework's done.
Sure.
And
seasons, right?
Yeah,
different seasons of life.
getting the garden in, milking the goats, and
I love it.
I love it too.
It sounds like a great life.
That's good.
So what are you going to sing for us next? Are we going to hear from the whole band now?
Yeah, we have the whole band here, and it's great.
Would you like to introduce them?
Yeah, we have Justin Drury on lead guitar.
Yeah.
Dan Thompson on bass. And we have another Austin in the house, Austin Clark.
3 Austins.
Yeah, he's playing the cajon for us today. And Lissa typically plays keys and sings vocals, and today she's just singing. So.
Wonderful. Well, here we are with T.A. Clayton and the Soulminers.
Right.
Wonder where I'm going. You can ask me, just don't ask why. I think that I can handle another drunken, dragged out fight. You say I don't listen to you, yet I love the sound of your voice. Let's wait it out under the shelter of the love inside. Oh, the love inside. The rain gonna fall, the sun gonna shine again, and through it
it all. It's you and me in the end. So baby, please take a look at yourself. And baby, please take a look at yourself. And baby, please, wow, take a look at yourself. You're all I need.
That's amazing, guys. Great job. Awesome lyrics. Great song. Tell me, who, and anyone can answer this, who do you enjoy listening locally to in the Central Kentucky or regional area?
You know, you had Aaron Boyd on,
Yes.
Yes.
and man, I just love that guy. He actually, yesterday, like I said, we played at the Burl, and I got to put the bill together. So I got to pick, you know, two of my favorites, and so I picked Aaron Boyd and Ethan Hunt, and you know, I just love those guys. And I have a buddy that works with me, and he's from Northern Kentucky, and I've been telling him for a while about how good the music is right here, right now, and it's kind of hard to. You can say that, but as he's been here for the last few months, really, he's starting to get it, and it is this continuous thing of you can go out and you can hear. I mean, just what we have in this room right now is just a really amazing thing to experience, be a part of, have fun, and it's really crazy in the amount of how supportive it is. You know, I can't speak for any other region throughout the United States. Maybe there's other pockets like this, and I hope there are. But regardless, what we have going on right now is really special. Yeah.
It's a very inclusive community,
Yeah.
which is a blessing to all of us. We love Aaron Boyd.
Yeah.
I love, he's special. He has something special about him
Yeah.
that is very captivating, and we see it everywhere we go to see him. So that was a really great choice.
There's a hot pocket happening.
It
that's
is.
for
It's
sure.
right here. It's happening
Road
right
trip,
here.
right?
You really don't have to travel that far. I mean, it's like an hour or two from Central Kentucky, and you can have incredible talent.
Well, and I think what's really happening too is it's the surrounding counties where a lot of the talent lies. You know, I live out in Clark County, and there's a lot of county talent that is kind of continuously working its way inward, and
Yeah.
that's what we're finding.
I love that everyone's friends.
I do
It's
too.
so
It's-
amazing.
it
It's a
is.
family. It's just such a beautiful community, and they love each other deeply, and they support. It's not a catty thing going on. At least maybe I'm naive. I don't see it if it is. I think it's just full of love and support and compassion for each other. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I agree. So, do you have a third one for us?
Sure, we can do one more.
Thank you so much, Whitney. That was a great interview, by the way.
Too far to go. See, I left long ago. My baby, she lays in the cold under a stone. And I wonder sometimes when the west winds blow, if this old life was meant to be lived on a road. So heartache will rush down the river and slay me to the ground. Oh, stop tumbling. Won't stop tumbling till you drown. The days go so slow. The nights never last. crooketer path. Heartache will rush down river, it'll slam you to the ground. You won't stop tumbling, you won't stop tumbling till you drown. The days go so slow, the nights never last. With a crooked old traveler, with a crooked past, with a crooked old traveler, with a crooked past.
Thank you so much for being with us, Todd, Justin, Dan, Lissa, and Austin. And we will be back with more with Maddie Simpson after these messages.
Truth, love, and OxyContin. Truth, love, and OxyContin. Honey, are you just high? Are you in love with me? Are you just high? Are you in love with me?
Welcome back, everyone, to Overtones on Lexington Community Radio. And how awesome has it been to listen locally so far, Whitney?
Oh, it's incredible.
You've just enjoyed the music of Maddie Simpson. Let's welcome Maddie back to the show, everyone. And Whitney, there's a story behind that song.
Tell me story. Tell me story.
First, but what can you share with us about the origins of that song?
So yeah, my wife and I were having a yard sale one time, which is a pretty, typical Kentucky thing to do. And I'm sitting at the table where everybody pays their money, and I've got my guitar in my hand. And of course, there's like two kinds of people that show up at your yard sale. There's the person that buys all the weird stuff that you have in your garage. Somebody wants to buy that. Then there's the people that come to your yard sale and they don't really want to buy nothing. They just want to tell you their whole life story for an hour. And this particular day, this lady told me her life story about her son who's dating a woman who's addicted to pills, and he's trying to figure out what he's going to do for his kids. But every time he threatens to leave her, she threatens to kill herself. So in a way, it's kind of sweet that he wanted to stay with her, and so I decided to write a whole song about that kind of struggle. So, Truth, Love, and OxyContin.
I call it garage sale.
I call it a
What do
garage
y'all
sale
do?
too. That's what I grew up.
Moral of the
Garage
story
sale.
is don't tell me stories like that, because I will play that on Overtones on radio shows, and then you're
And
the
even
whole
on your
world knows.
CD, right?
And it's on the CD, so like anybody can get it.
Fantastic. Maddie, tell us, where have you been performing lately?
Man, it seems like lately you've been all over, like playing a lot regionally, Tennessee, here in Lexington a lot, Cincinnati, headed back down to Tennessee here pretty soon to McMinnville. I've been really blessed lately to play a lot just in the surrounding couple states and just regionally, and trying to play as much as I can. So
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
right, just
Play to
get out a
people
little
who
bit
will
at a time.
listen. Yeah, a little bit of a time. So we have 2 ministers on the show today, Renee.
That's crazy.
Yeah, is that not crazy? That's why the vibe is so good in here, maybe. I don't know. It feels good.
The spirit.
The spirit is with us today.
So as far as that goes, it's been great with the church. Luckily, I'm at a church that understands me as a number one, a minister, but as a person as well. They know that I love to minister in this way. Most of the conversations that I have about Jesus are backstage at a bar, and they're usually the most meaningful conversations that I have in my ministry. So my church is really supportive of that. Anything worth doing is worth doing right and worth working hard at. And, I think everybody in this room can understand that. Todd talking about being a carpenter and things like that. Like it takes work to build something beautiful. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're probably going to have to accept mediocrity at some point.
That's very true. Tell us, who are you listening locally to these days?
Oh my gosh,
I know, this is a
there's so
hard
many.
one. Nobody can get their feelings hurt.
I tell you right now, I'm listening to these guys now.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
On the list, right?
So good. I've always loved Kentucky music. I grew up with it. My dad was a Southern gospel guy, so we travel around a lot, always around Kentucky music, especially mountain music. I was never very good at playing it, but I love guys like Chris Knight. Chris Knight's a huge influence on me. I've been listening to him for years. But I saw him and Tyler Childers at the Burl a few years ago, and I was just like, oh man, it's like the greatest show I could imagine. But yeah, of course, everybody's talking about Tyler Childers, and that's because he's incredible. So you should go see him. Eric Bolander's got a record out that I've been really liking a lot. I feel like I'm just leaving out
There's
everybody.
so many. Just anybody and everybody.
I got to hang out with Chris Bentley last night. He's so good. He's got such a great spirit about him, and he just brings the whole music community together.
Yes, so you are listening locally to Overtones on 93.9 WLXU. We'd like to listen locally to you one more time, Maddie. And what do you have for us the next song?
This is a song I wrote about my hometown.
And what's the background of the song, other than it's about your hometown?
My dad passed away when I was 9 years old, and my mom worked 3 jobs. So if I ever wanted anything like guitars or cars or anything like that, I wound up working in tobacco. And so this song is just my love-hate relationship with working in tobacco, and I miss it, but I don't want to do it again. So this song is my way of saying, thanks for giving me what I got, but I'm going to let somebody else do it from now on.
And I am so excited about hearing this one. This is my favorite, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad. This is called Tobacco Town. Dropping them sticks in the dog day heat. Cynthiana's best rolled up in my sleeve. 2 behind to quit, too hot to eat. Have another beer in the high boy seat. It's been 3 weeks since we topped them spikes. Pinched off the suckers and sharpened our knives. Cutting down to dust till these hands are brown. 10 cents a stalk to lay that burley down. And we break our backs for the ones that we love. And we work too hard, live too fast, burn through the tunnel like a shot from the blast. 13 months a year, that's where I'm found, in that tobacco town, in that tobacco barn till the shag's all cured. 4 tiers high, 20 stick wide. Strip off the stalks, reds, tips, and flines. This old Haggard cassette still works just fine. We break our backs for the ones that we love. We work too hard, live too fast, burn through the summer like a shot from a glass. For 13 months a year, that's where I'm found. Yeah, we work too hard, live too fast, burn through the summer like a shot from a glass. 13 months a year, that's where I'm found. In that tobacco town, in that tobacco town. Yeah, we work too hard, live too fast, burn through the summer like a shot from a glass. 13 months a year, that's where I'm found. Yeah, we work too hard, live too fast, burn through the summer like a shot from a glass. When I die, they lay me in the ground. In that tobacco town, in that tobacco town.
Wow. This seems like a great place to end this edition of Overtones, episode 18, appropriately titled RefLEXions. And Whitney and I would like to thank all of our guests, Austin McAllistar, Austin McDonald, T.A. Clayton, and the Soulminers, and Maddie Simpson for giving us all a great reason to listen locally today. So this is Renee Collins
And Whitney Akey.
working in concert each and every week to bring you the very best this great state of Kentucky has to offer music fans, reminding you that where words fail, music speaks.
Have a great week filled with music, family, friends, and a lot of love.
Listen locally.
Goodbye, everyone.
Sing to me, summer breeze. Tell me the secrets in the sun. Sing, summer breeze. I swear